Okay, so now we're going to move on to simulation-driven design. All right, now I'm going to start off here with Creo generative design. So there may be some of you people out there that have not had anything to do with generative design yet. So Creo generative design is an AI-driven algorithm and optimization techniques to automatically generate design solutions based on specific constraints and goals. Instead of manually creating every detail of a part, engineers provide requirements like load conditions, the materials that you want to use, the weight limits, and the manufacturing methods, whether it's going to be 3D printed or whether it's going to be, CNC machined on a 3-axis or a 5-axis machine. You can go and specify that, and the software generates multiple optimized design alternatives, which is also really nice. And I'm hoping to show you a short video about this. So generative design, some of the enhancements that were made were thermal simulation is now capable of thermal simulation, where you can actually go and define that. I'll get to that in the next slide. Connect preserved bodies and surfaces. Also a really nice enhancement. And offset bodies and surfaces. You guys that use generative design on a daily basis will love the offset bodies and surfaces. Rigid bodies you can now do, and yield stress diagnostics. And then this true solid update, that true solid update, I said here, so it will never fail with offsets, I want to say within reason, okay. All right, so the thermal optimization study, generative design now supports a new type of optimization called thermal study. This is steady state thermal study, okay, and convection conditions can be suppressed. So new load types are heat load, heat flux, and heat generation load. So you can actually now go and say, all right, I want to, in this disc brake, I want to have, this is my maximum weight, this is the maximum heat that I want to aim for, and it'll go back and look at the designs and come up with the best solution with the requirements that you've put in there. Okay, so the benefits, consistent workflow, and powerful optimization, thermal conditions, and use more use cases solved and new objectives. Okay, this one is the one that, like I say, you guys that use it on a daily basis, this is quite nice, is this generative design connected preserved bodies and connected surfaces. So if we look at this image on the left hand side, we've got our load conditions and our constraints where we're holding this, let's call it the spider shape here. It has gone back and said, okay, well, out of these 6 connection points, we only need the 4. We don't need those other 2. That's the current situation, and you cannot basically get around it. Now with the enhancement in Creo 12, you can now go and say, no, I want to have that connected bodies preserved. So it'll now force it to go and create those connected bodies. So you're using all 6 of them. That might just be your design requirement, but it is a handy thing to have there when you're creating this. Now, this is the short video. So what they're going to do here, let me just start this video. I don't think the sound is going to come through. I don't know if you can hear the sound. If you can, then great, but if you can't, so what we're doing here, this one was predefined, okay? We don't have it that it connects those bodies, keeps those connected bodies, so it solved it like that. So now we're going to go and open it up, and we're going to say, okay, now we want to connect them when we want to preserve that connection. So here we're just going to say they connect preserved bodies and surfaces. So we're saying, please include those, and then it goes back, and when it generates the design, it comes back, and you can see it has generated, but the stresses in that area are very low, and that's why it's not needed. But again, the choice is or the choice of design is in your control. Okay. All right, offset bodies and surfaces. This one I really like. Okay, so generative design now supports offset bodies and surfaces. All option results in rolling ball methods, and that's why they say it almost can't fail, but that's within reason. So you've got your preserved surface. You can go and I'll show you a short video on this, but you can go and select this, and you just select the surface and it'll offset it, and then you've already got your excluded body. Okay, so I'm just going to step through and maybe let me just see if I can play this one quickly, and you'll get a quick idea of what the capability is, and you guys that use it on a daily basis will appreciate this. So here we've got that model and we've already got those bodies, so we're just going to go and hide them, okay? And now we're going to go and create those offset bodies. So we've got those 4 holes there. So I'm just going to say preserve those bodies, go and select those holes, and I can go and choose how much offset I want, and it automatically goes and creates that for me. So I don't need to go and model it. I can just go and create it on the fly like that. And that's you know, again, a small thing, but makes a big difference when we're using generative design to create this. Okay. All right, yield stress diagnostics. I'm just going to say quickly, so when you go and create your design and you've chosen your material and it's got a specific yield stress, when it solves it, and it'll come back, and if it exceeds that yield stress, it'll come back and tell you that the stresses has been exceeded, and it'll then give you the choice, okay, you either need to go and choose a different material, change your design slightly, but it'll give you this error message once it exceeds the yield stress. Okay, really nice capability there, or enhancement there as well. All right, Creo Simulate Live. Creo Simulate Live, it's a real-time simulation tool for Creo 3D CAD models that provides immediate structural, thermal, and modal analysis feedback directly in your design graphics window. While designing, you can instantly test your designs for potential problems that make the required changes early in the design process. So this is Creo Simulate Live. And just some of the enhancements that they've made, it now supports bearing loads. Okay, so I can show you a video, you know, a short video on this, but I think everybody understands the bearing load, and it now is supported in Creo Simulate Live. Okay, bolted structures as well, and related features. So you can now go and apply the bolted structures. It's easy, it's quick to go and apply them, and you've got different types of constraints that you can apply with the bolts, and it's a huge time saver when you're going and doing simulations using Creo Simulate Live. Okay, and just again, you can probe many support types with the bolt specific results, so axial and shear stress, factor of safety, and torsional moments you can go and get from that. All right, now here is, I've got a short video. Just here we went and we just added a bolt in. We gave it a predefined bolt stress on it. All right, and we're just running it in Simulation Live, and you'll see that now when it solves, and it solves correctly with that bolt there, and we'll get the results. And with that preload, and it's quick to solve. And there we can see the results. Okay, so there we can see the results. All right, I need to, okay, so Creo ANSYS simulation. So it's an integrated simulation tool with Creo CAD that uses ANSYS solver to perform advanced structural and thermal simulation directly using the Creo design models familiar to Creo user interface. All right, and it uses now currently, on today's date, we're using the latest R25 solver, ANSYS solver. So we can now have the expanded results, slider bar and charts, animation improvements, and bolted structure and the related features. So here, just expanded results. We've now got the graphs, we've got the slider bar, accurate sub-step colors. So when we run through this simulation, we get the accurate colors there, and we can get an accurate graph. Okay, so this is all part of the Creo ANSYS capability. Some of the Creo Simulate enhancements. Now, for you guys that use Creo Simulate often, and you create welds, we've now got this glue contact for solid welds, because you run into issues when you've got welds that are overlapping. You can now go and use the glue contact, and that gets around, and it'll solve that issue where it doesn't want to go and mesh because those welds join or interfere there. So the glue contact now gets around that, and yeah, we can just see this here. I'll just move this on. So here we've just got a load. We've now set it to the glue contacts. We run the simulation, and we can get the simulation results very quickly, so that we can use those glue contacts. So it just makes life a lot easier when you're using welds and you're running a simulation. Okay. All right. Okay, so just a summary. So generative design, thermal simulation, connective, preserved body surfaces, offset bodies and surfaces, rigid bodies, yield stress diagnostics, and then the true solid update with that offset. Solver update to ANSYS 25R1. It gets released twice a year. So we're now on 25R1. In January, we will still be on that one, but then it'll get released onto 26 in about June. Bearing load support and bolted structures and related features in Creo Simulate Live. So this is nice because it goes Creo Simulate Live, Creo ANSYS. You get this bolted load, bearing load is in all three of them now. Solver update to 25 again, expanded results, slider bar, animation improvements, and Creo Simulate your glue contact to solid welds, which makes a big difference.